All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our morning hundoke. To start off, let's offer a greeting about to our heavenly parents and true parents. 천지인 참부모님께 경배. 바로. And now, today is day 2 in our heavenly calendar, so we'll be reading Family Pledge number 2 first in Korean, then in English. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 전주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 준신, 세계에서는 성인, 전주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. Our family, the owner of Cheonilguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the heavenly parent and true parent. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. And with that, for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite up Noriko Tenepre. Noriko Tenepre-san, do you mind opening us up in prayer?
Yes, Yummy prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, True Parent, and thank you, grateful to do today. It's begun to the farewell ceremony and the inauguration ceremony in the New York hotel. And personally, I cannot attend there, but so many will be happen there. So many people is thinking of there to the new starting beginning of the new America here. So we are now starting the Hundohe. We prepare to our open heart to receive the God's word to begin this new day, also new history in America. Thank you for and too much grateful to continue to do this Hundohe culture. If stop it, we will have guilty, but continue. Though we are still continue to the Dr. Yun's legacy here. I'm so appreciative of this. Everybody to join together to do putting to our Johnson here, and to please welcome to the Reverend Damian Duckling here in America as a new leader, consider director. We are so now started to the please prepare to our heart to open this head. Sorry, I pray in my name, not got any present of Brass family. Achi.
Aju. Thank you, Noriko-san. With that, we're going to jump straight into our gratitude sharing. So just take a moment this morning to think about what you are grateful for and share with whoever you paired up with that chance. So bring in some joy to their day, and we'll see each other soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful sharing with whoever you were paired up with in your breakout. I had the opportunity to be with Mrs. Hendricks and the Intamak couple. I'd like to call on the Intamak couple to share with us their gratitude points this morning.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes. All right. Yes, was very blessed to be with Fresh Fred. I believe this is the first time that we are in the breakout room. Since we have been doing morning devotion, morning 100K, call it, give it the name you want to. So today is special because we're in room 28, and today is the 28th, right? My wife noticed that. That's very interesting, So I'm grateful because to Dr. Young, it's very special because after we start morning devotion, I try my best not to think too much to Dr. Young because I was kind of sad. I can admit it, very sad. But today again, that thought came back to me. Since today we're going to see Dr. Young for the last time, So, but I can only say that I'm grateful to Dr. Young for everything that he has done to us because, it really helped us to really feel deeply True Parents' work because we don't really understand Korean. So I used to read morning True Parents' work, but I never had a chance to understand the deep feeling, have that deep feeling that really Dr. Yang really trying to convey to us because he understands Korean. So I'm so grateful to him, and he gave us a chance to really feel what True Parents was talking about. So my second gratitude also is about our True Parents because yesterday by mistake somebody Zelle to my wife $1,500 by mistake. They sent to her bank account $1,500, and my wife and that person called my wife and tell her, please, can you send me back the money? I send you by mistake $1,500 to your account. And my wife sent that person back the money right away there. And I was like, yeah, that's why you do the right thing. That's how you're supposed to do. That's what the kingdom of heaven is. That's what Chongwigo is. And I was like, wow, if everybody could be like that, we will not need police, lawyers and all those law enforcement, because that would be the kingdom of heaven. So I'm grateful to our True Parents because, I believe strongly that, in the near future, that's how we're going to live in the world. That world will be the kingdom of heaven. Yes. Those are my gratitude this morning. Thank you.
Arena?
Yes, I'm grateful this morning to our Heavenly Parents and to parents. And mostly it's on Friday, 3 days in a week, I usually have a Bible study with one of my pastors, Pastor Mani. So on Friday, we always check if I'm going to go physically for the Sabbath. And then I inform him, yes, I'll go physically, but not by myself this time. I'll go with Alkosan. And then he didn't tell me anything. So we went for the Sabbath, and I was shocked he came because actually he has a choice. He's the main pastor. He has a choice to be in other locations, but he chose to come where I was going to go because I mentioned to him that I'll go to the location close to me. So I was really moved that he could make such a sacrifice to make sure that he goes where we were going to be. And I felt really that is really an artistic relationship he's creating with me. So I was really moved and touched for that. So that's my gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you, Serena and Uncle Eric. All right, so we're gonna go straight into our morning Hundoke. And as you know, we are reading the Mother of Peace. And so please open up your hearts and your mind to receive from our True Mother today.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. Thank you, Mother. Please take care of everything. Moon, moon, bright moon, the moon with which Itebek used to play, Far away on that moon there is a cinnamon tree. I cut it down with a jade axe and trimmed it with a gold axe to build a small cottage where I attend my mother and father. I want to live with them forever. I want to live with them forever. While laden with sadness, this traditional Korean song also stirs and uplifts the heart. The wish to live forever with one's mother and father conveys the heart of filial piety. We are orphans, far from the heavenly parent whom we have lost, and we have to find our true parents and our original homeland. Nothing leads to greater happiness than being able to attend the beloved parents for whom we long, be it in a palace or a small hut. Everything and everyone loves the sun. Only with the sun can life flourish. The moon, on the other hand, bestows something else. The sun represents splendor, the moon, tranquility. When people are far from home, they tend to think about their hometown and long for their parents while looking at the moon, not at the sun. I have fond memories of gazing at the moon together with my husband. We watched it with many members during the Korean Chuseok Harvest Festival and at the first full moon of the new year. Nonetheless, those moments were rare. My husband and I could not immerse ourselves in such tranquility. After this work is done, my husband would always say, and so would I, after this work is finished and we have a bit of free time, we'll be able to take a break. Over our years of ministry, one would think that there would have been brief moments to relax after completing an urgent task. But for us, free time never materialized. Spurred on by the thought of my grandmother Jo crying, "Manse," for the independence and salvation of our nation, I burned with a youthful passion for saving humanity and building a peaceful world. I have always held high the banner of peace, inheriting the March 1st independence movement's noble spirit of nonviolence and self-determination. Because I lived with this sense of urgency, I found myself accomplishing what I would never have imagined possible. Throughout my life, I have done my utmost to fulfill all the tasks that have come to me. I have striven to dedicate myself to living for the sake of others with one heart and one will. I have never given my body the rest it needs. Many were the times I neglected to eat or sleep. My husband, Reverend Dr. Sun Myung-moon, who was often known as Father Moon, was the same. He was born with a strong physique, and had he taken better care of his health, he would have had more time to work for a better world. But he too followed God's will with unflinching devotion, and this damaged his health, ultimately to the point of no return. Up to 4 or 5 years before his ascension, in 2012, he was in continual motion, living each day as if it were 1,000 years. His work was strenuous, both physically and spiritually. For example, he often spent entire nights in a small fishing boat on rough seas. He did this for the sake of others, setting an example for our Ocean Church members as well as leaders who accompanied him. He wanted to help them cultivate patience and the spirit to overcome hardship. Father Moon constantly traveled between continents, and it usually was between East and West, which takes a much greater toll than traveling between North and South. Considering his age, he traveled far too often between Korea and the United States. He should have limited such trips to once every 2 to 3 years, but he would not consider it. The year before his passing at age 92, he traveled between Korea and America at least 8 times. This was a complete self-sacrifice, offered solely for God and humankind. Father Moon's daily schedule itself was grueling. Every morning he would rise at 3 a.m., exercise, pray, and study. At 5 a.m., he led Hundokwe, which means gathering to read and learn, with followers. It was a time of devotional scripture reading, prayer and instruction. During Hundokwe, my husband had so much to share that it was not uncommon for it to continue for up to 10 hours, skipping breakfast and lunch. No sooner would he conclude the session than he would grab a quick bite and depart to visit a movement project. In the final years while in Korea, he would travel by helicopter to Komun Island or Yosu, where we were developing fishing, recreational, and educational facilities. Into his 70s, Father Moon could handle this physically, but in his last decade, it would wear him out, and he would end up with a cold, or worse. Of course, he would ignore the symptoms, and then, during the summer of 2012, he caught a deep chest cold that was particularly alarming. We should have gone to the hospital immediately, but he kept postponing it, saying over and over, "We can go after this is done." Eventually, the decision was non-negotiable. He had to go to the hospital. His body was already in a very fragile state. He was hospitalized for a short time, but as soon as his medical examinations were finished, he stubbornly insisted on being discharged. We tried to persuade him to stay longer, but he wouldn't listen. "I still have a lot of work to do. I can't just sit here in hospital," he said, scolding the people who advised him to stay. There was no choice but to discharge him. That was August 12th, 2012. We arrived home, and all of a sudden he said, "I want to have breakfast sitting opposite you, Oma." The members who heard this weren't sure they heard him right, because I always sat next to my husband during meals, not facing him. And then, when the food was served, my husband seemed uninterested in eating. He just gazed at me, as if he were trying to engrave my face in his heart. I smiled and placed a spoon in his hand and something from the side dishes on his plate. "These vegetables are delicious, so take your time to eat," I said. The next day the sun was unusually strong, even for midsummer. In the oppressive heat, Father Moon toured parts of our Chunwoon complex on the shores of Changpyeong Lake, accompanied by an oxygen tank larger than himself. Upon his return to our home, Chonjonggun, he asked me to bring a voice recorder. With the recorder in his hand, he fell into deep thought for 10 minutes, and then little by little began recording his thoughts. He stated that when we transcend the history of the fall and return to the original Garden of Eden, following only God, we can then move in the direction of the kingdom of heaven. He also proclaimed that we can restore nations through fulfilling the mission of guiding our tribes. It was a soliloquy and prayer that embraced the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega. "Everything has been accomplished. I offer everything to heaven," he said in closing. "Everything has been brought to its consummation, completion, and conclusion." This turned out to be True Father's final prayer. With it, he brought his life to a close. Breathing with some difficulty for a moment, he squeezed my hand tightly. "Mother, thank you. Mother, please take care of everything. I'm so sorry, and I'm truly grateful," he said, struggling to get the words out. Again and again he said those same words. I held his hand more and more firmly, and with warm words and loving eyes, holding back the tears, I reassured him that everything would be all right. "Don't worry about anything." On September 3rd, 2012, my husband, Reverend Dr. Sun Myung Moon, ascended into God's embrace. He was 93 years old by the Korean way of counting, and was laid to rest in the Ponhonghwan, which means the garden in the original hometown, beside a pond on Mount Chonsong. I have often slipped into deep thought, gazing at the moon rising above Mount Chonsong. I cut it down with a jade axe and trimmed it with a gold axe to build a small cottage where I attend my mother and father. I want to live with them forever. I repeat this poem to myself over and over.
Thank you for listening to Godable. Visit motherofpeacebook.com to purchase the complete audiobook. Godable is made possible by listeners like you. To donate, visit godable.org. Thank you.
All right, so that was today's Honoke message from the Mother of Peace. So to share a reflection on it, I'd like to call on our New Jersey pastor, Naokimi Ushiroda.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. This reading. I always don't know if I should share briefly about. Anyway, just briefly, yesterday we did have an inauguration. I mean, not inauguration. The UTS graduation. That was a main event that we had yesterday that I attended. And it was beautiful. So some of my favorite people also graduated. Kayla, Crescentia, and others, and Mari. So so I was grateful to have attended that. As for the reading today, I think several things stood out to me. From the beginning, Mother Moon, she really shares about our relationship with God. She defines it like us being more like orphans, longing for our parent whom we have lost. And it's an interesting analogy, but really, if you think about the state of humanity, I felt it's an interesting way to explain how our relationship between humans and God has been throughout history, really as orphans, and how we really need to, or that we're seeking to restore that original relationship. A second thing that stood out to me was the description of the role of the moon and the sun. I thought that was really interesting. The sun providing this splendor, and the moon is really something that can provide tranquility. And I felt that in that one statement, she was really explaining the difference and the complementary roles that people play. And particularly, I was thinking, she didn't say it explicitly, but the role of Father Moon and Mother Moon. Father Moon really in the front, speaking, and kind of more the in the yin and yang energy, really like providing this kind of masculine energy of splendor and dynamism and so on. But Mother just being that stable, comforting, tranquil energy that we also need in order to heal and restore ourselves. And then, the third thing that really stood out today for me was really Mother's heart of devotion towards True Father, or Father Moon. She really honored him. She testified to his devotion, his dedication, his lifestyle, his work ethic, and kind of really painted a very vivid image of the kind of life that Father led. And the thing is, I mean, she was by his side more than anyone else. She was with him throughout all of that. So, some people may misunderstand, or I've heard some people accuse, Mother of, being against, or, saying things that are different. But, really, if you just hear these words, you can see that how much she loved Father Moon, and how much she was devoted to really not only supporting him while he was alive, but even now I feel actually experienced this directly, was part of the main reason why she's continuing to really push forward, um, is out of her devotion to both Heavenly Parent and her husband, um, to complete all the things that Father Moon initiated. Mother Moon is continuing to work hard to accomplish and complete. So, yeah, what really shone through this reading today for me was just the true fidelity and devotion that Mother has for Father Moon.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Naokimi. And so now is your chance to just take a moment to digest if you haven't already, but also share anything that came up for you during today's Hundok reading. And we'll be back here in about 6 minutes to share with everyone else. So see you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful sharing in your breakout. I was with Anne-Marie Myler and Tony Politella. I'd like to call on Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, if you could please share your thoughts, reflection on today's Hondoke. Go ahead. You can unmute now.
Okay, all right. True Mother's Memoir. I like True Mother's Memoir. I read the books a couple of times already, and I truly appreciate what's in it and True Mother's thoughts. And I gave it to a pastor 2 or 3 years ago already as a Christmas gift. And he's a very stubborn pastor, so he has yet to read it. But I know that he needs to read it because I have listened to his sermons for about a year and a half every Sunday. And I know that he's looking for a lot more than what his faith is giving him at this time. That's why I gave him True Mother's Memoir. And I also gave him the book about Jesus Christ from Kevin McCarthy, because I told him that he should read both of them and it will help him and he will have more questions and then we can talk some more. I have no problem with the Hondoke we are doing now. I truly appreciate what we are doing. Even though it's only barely an hour, I like it. Reading True Parents' words is a major plus and it should always be done. So I have no problem with all. I'm grateful for Resfred and for everyone who is trying to organize all this. And I very much appreciate Naoki-san. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna-Marie. And now we're gonna go into our announcements. So today, the only main announcement is you all know what's happening 10 o'clock at the New Yorker Hotel. Some of you will be driving over. Some of you will be watching online. Please check your email. There should be a link to watch the live stream. But I guess since I'm with you all here, I might as well just share the link in this chat. Okay, I'm just going to put the link in the chat here too, just in case you didn't receive that email. Let me see. There you go. So that YouTube link, just copy, paste it, put it somewhere. That's where today's event will be streamed for anyone who's not coming. But for everyone coming, we'll see you there. It is the official farewell for Dr. Young and President Naokimi. So if you'd like to see Dr. Naokimi off, please be there. I can't promise he'll hug everybody, but but he'll be there. He'll be there. Yeah, he just did a face. And then and also it's an official welcome for President Dunkley as well. So let us come with the hearts to really just welcome Reverend Dunkley and Yumiko Dunkley as well. And we'll also get a chance to see and hear from our new UPF International Chair, Dr. Chan-Shik Yang, as well as the new International President of Family Federation, Dr. Song. Dr. Kim will be there too. So that's the main announcement today. 10 o'clock today. Please be there early. As you know, the seats will probably be filled if you want a good seat, right? There are probably some overflow rooms at a place where you probably won't be able to see the stage. But if you'd like a seat with everyone, please be there on time as well. And with that, we're going to go on to our closing prayer. Can I ask Noriko Sprague, do you mind closing us out in prayer?
Okay. Let us pray. Yes, Heavenly Parents and a true parent. So today is a beautiful day. We have this having this inauguration day, and we gathering together and continuing this Hondoke and the morning devotion tradition. So we really be ready and to have this day for the historical day, and to really start and put all our heart, brothers and sisters, together. Let us really open and welcome you and your parents in the point with all the brothers and sisters together. And so we are so grateful for everything that you have given us this time and to begin this moment and go on and future. We want to really thank you everything that you've given us this time and this opportunity. And I pray all these things in the name of Noriko Sprague, Breast Center family. Adieu.
Ju. Thank you, Noriko-san. And with that about wraps up today's morning devotion. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. We'll see a lot of you at 10 o'clock, and everyone else, see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Good day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
God bless you.
Have a great day,
Bye.
everyone.